Hi Tekmon audience, my name is Kyle. I am the Site Access Coordinator for London Underground. Today you are going to get an overview of why we use Tekmon and to know all the benefits that we've achieved with Tekmon. Today you are at one of our depot, which is called Ruislip Depot. As you can see, one of our engineers here.
Currently we're following Kyle to his office. What is it that you do here, Kyle?
So I manage the Site Access team for possession. Possession in other words is like a project. Me and my team, we will prepare all the documents, what needs to be presented to all the contractors who come into our property, like the stations, the depot, or anywhere in the track. So when you've got companies who are going to do any work, they need to comply with our rules. And we communicate rules, all the conditions of the track that's going to have traction current on or off, or any hazards that is safe.
So Kyle, what was the current problem with your processes which forced you to find a solution?
I'll say because of the COVID-19, we obviously have to follow the government rules of what they wanted certain industry to comply with. And so one of the problems that we have is, if I can explain what normally happens, going back and explaining about some of the locations we have staff working there, contractors will go meet one of my staff to get briefed. And to get briefed, they first need to sign in onto a PICAD. So normally, this is a PICAD. There's a leader for a gang. He might have 10 to 15 people. They sign this in to make sure all the certificate is compliant. They will then get briefed about those information that we create in the office. So like all these limits and stages, the traction where they can go, and some of the hazards, what they need to be aware of. So my staff will brief them. And the problem is, every station are not the same. So the size of the station could be less space for people to sit and watch the brief, and it will cause a congregation with staff. So we need to keep 2 meters social distance. And that was a problem where we thought, what if people can watch the video brief on an app?
So how has Tekmon improved the quality of your work life?
Okay, so I can answer this for myself as my role within the office, and I will also answer on behalf of my staff who are actually working in the project. So starting for myself, when the project is finished, the weekend possession, as mentioned earlier in the video, on average we have about 700 to 800 people signing in and out within the weekend project. So we have to extract a database of people. Before Tekmon's app solution, we used to have per possession, you see between my 2 fingers? That's the amount of paper document of people signing within the weekend possession. Since the Tekmon solution we've implemented, it's this thin now. So we're saving papers, and it reduces the task of me having to archive documents and keep a digital version. So I no longer have to do this. In terms of my staff, they used to have to sign people in, go through every certification of every staff members. Bear in mind, that's 100 person to check per shift in an 8-hour slot shift. So instead of doing this, they're now scanning barcode, or if someone hasn't got the video brief from the app, it takes a 5-second job to add them to the list so they can get the video brief. And I'll say normally before Tekmon, it used to take about 15 to 20 minutes on average to sign people in. Now it's a case of people watching the video brief before coming to site to now 30 seconds.
So what barriers did you face when first implementing Tekmon? How did you overcome those?
There was resistance at the beginning, where people having to turn up and find that there's a new change of procedures to sign in. And there are barriers in terms of the people's age, in terms of like the older generation are not good with new technologies. Some probably didn't have a phone, so it requires everybody to have a mobile phone to download the app, watch the video. But we managed it. It's doable, and it requires a lot of strong characters who are my staff and myself, who are having to lead by saying, look, give me your phone, let me help you. It takes time, but eventually it's now calm, very calm with nice energy. Everybody loves it.
What's the mood been like amongst those that use the app on a daily basis?
It's funny you ask this question because recently I asked somebody randomly if we were to change back to the basic of how we had a PWAP, which is my staff who would brief them, that takes about 15-20 minutes on average. They were like, no. So that was the reaction I got. But overall, we did do some survey a couple of months ago and sometime last year, where we felt that the convenience is what they loved. The fact that they can sit in their car, watch the video brief, turn up to site location and get the barcode scanned, which takes about 10 to 30 seconds to sign in, and whereas you watch the video brief, which is about 2-3 minutes, in their car. So I think the convenience has bring in a positive vibe where you just turn up, scan the barcode, everybody now knows how it works. It's just less hassle, less effort.
Kyle, what would you say to someone who wasn't sure whether to digitize their processes?
I think for everyone it's going to be different, but we were also the same. You're used to doing what works, and if it's working fine, normally you think there's no need to be a change. And if it wasn't for the COVID-19, we would have not had this being triggered. We think we know what works because it's working for us, but there's that blind spot area. So to give you an example of my experience with Tekmon, with their expertise, I believe that they saw a solution where we thought this was the solution, and their solution helped simplify our work to what we thought was best, if that makes sense. So we suggested something and they've understood our whole scope of the work. They then came in with a better plan. We implemented it, it worked out really good. The fact that we got this relationship which is ongoing, we've had Tekmon stay with us to make the adjustments, because there is this areas to anticipate that things might not be perfect, which is normal like any other project. So I think if you think you know it's working well, there's always the other area that you probably don't know, and I think Tekmon has helped us see that side.
So lastly, Kyle, how would you describe your relationship with Tekmon?
If I am to describe, I'll say they're very committed to working with us and delivering to make us happy. I mean, we started working with them since May 2020, and it's been 16 months where every week we've had a full engagement to have one of our colleagues speak with Tekmon to give feedback. So there's a quick information given to them to then having to build and iterate and deliver for the next weekend. We find them very reliable. It's a very strong relationship for 16 months.
Hi, this is Zahra from Tekmon. Thank you, Kyle, for taking the time out to run us through the benefits of Tekmon at London Underground Depot in Ruislip. If you enjoyed the video, like and comment. Also, if you feel like someone could benefit from this video, please share.